ABC7 Chicago. This is the World Series champion Chicago Cubs on ABC7.
Nice night here in Washington, D.C., and we're set for Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC7. The Cubs a thrilling 5-4 win last night, 3-2 on this long 11-game trip. Great to have you with us for Cubs baseball tonight. Jim DeShays, Len Casper. We're going to get right into our Goodwill pitching matchup. This is a marquee matchup.
Yeah, did you see all those people that we just showed streaming into the ballpark? They weren't planning on coming. They opened up the paper this morning. They said, oh, my goodness, it's Arrieta and Scherzer. We're going to the ballpark. Should be a dandy here tonight. Scherzer against the Cubs in his career, 2-1 with a 3.19. They got him pretty good last year. Wrigley scored a bunch of runs off him. He's been on an unbelievable roll. He's got an 0.94 ERA over his last 6 starts. Arrieta looking for his second win on this road trip. Really good the other day in Miami.
Goodwill for whatever style you want today. Amazing. It'll be Jake Arrieta against Max Scherzer in a battle of stuff coming up next on ABC7. Brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By Mattress Firm, where we want you to sleep happy guaranteed. Remember, if it's over 8, it's time to replace. By Xfinity, Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And tonight's HD broadcast is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Reigning Cy Young Award winner in the NL, Max Scherzer, will face this Southwest Airlines Cubs starting lineup. Anthony Rizzo back in the leadoff spot tonight. Tommy La Stella playing second base. Ian Happ is in center. Chris Bryant will hit in the cleanup spot for the first time this year. Miguel Montero is the catcher, hitting ahead of John Jay and Javier Baez, who's got an 8-game hitting streak. Jake Arrieta, the pitcher, bats 8th, and Jeimer Candelario, the third baseman, 9th.
Well, when you take a look at the Washington Nationals defensively, you're going to find Goodwin in left, Taylor center, Bryce Harper is in right, infield Rendon, Turner, Murphy, Zimmerman, Matt Wieters is the catcher for Dusty Baker's club, and Max Scherzer takes the hill with an 8-5 record, a Major League best 2.09 ERA, a Major League best 167 batting average against. He has been flat out dominant.
Get the umpires for you. Larry Vanover is the home plate umpire tonight, and the crew chief, 24-year veteran, I should say, and he worked last year's World Series, his first such assignment. So here we go. Scherzer to Rizzo. Top of the zone strike.
Okay, so that's how you want to be. Well, plus everything across the board for Scherzer. He can light up the radar gun, has tremendous movement on his fastball. Swing and miss slider. Great changeup. Curveball that he's using a little bit more often this year than in the past. That cut fastball that he started the game with to Anthony's a little bit of a new wrinkle too.
Tapped foul. Right side. Weather at first pitch is brought to you by Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. For all the right reasons, call 866 Four Seasons. 79 degrees. Beautiful. We'll take it. Partly cloudy conditions. Got a little rain this afternoon as Rizzo fights that off foul and stays alive.
Been awfully good in the leadoff spot. Wilson Contreras was there last night and led off the game with a home run. Good take on the changeup.
That's low. Scherzer ready. That one is foul. Cubs 39 and 37. They're now within a game of the Milwaukee Brewers in the division. Washington 45 and 31, 8.5 ahead of second place Atlanta. And Rizzo just got hit and reaches again to start a ball game.
After back-to-back changeups, Scherzer's trying to bust that fastball up and in, maybe trying to throw one of those two-seamers that run back towards the inside corner. He just pulled it. So with a painful reach, but a reach nonetheless, and you just don't know against a guy like Scherzer how many chances you're going to get.
Well, his last start here against the Cubs will not be repeated because he took a perfect game into the 6th inning and struck out 9 of the first 10. He would end up getting the win with 11 strikeouts.
Currently riding a streak of 6 consecutive double-digit strikeout games. That ties a franchise record. The other guy to do that was Pedro Martinez back in 1997 when these Nationals were up in Montreal being the Expos.
After the season last year, Scherzer admitted that he had been dealing with a stress fracture in his right ring finger knuckle for the final month plus of the season. His numbers weren't effective. He was really good, but there was a story just before this season that he had changed the grip on his fastball, so that ring finger normally is to the side of the ball and kind of curled, but that's what was really bothering him. So I guess he's kind of straightened it out. And
yeah, that right there was his changeup grip.
Right.
Yeah, he was throwing a 3-finger fastball for a while in spring training, which is what a lot of little kids do when your hands are really small and the 2 fingers aren't big enough. I remember doing that in Little League, throwing the fastball with 3 fingers. So that's back to a more conventional grip there.
3-1 on La Stella. Rizzo hit by a pitch for the 13th time this season. Takes a lead off first. La Stella cuts and misses, and it's full. Scherzer holds his hands high in the set. And the pitch. Ball 4. 2 on, nobody out.
No, they rang him up.
They did? Wow.
Yeah, I think there was the voice call before the hand came up from Larry Vanover.
Yep, you're right. So that's the first out. Now Ian Happ batting third, playing center.
No hitter into the 8th inning last time out for Scherzer. He threw 121 pitches in that ball game, 118 pitches in the previous start. But he's had an extra day's rest prior to this effort here tonight.
Inside on Happ. The major league leader in hit by pitches currently is Josh Harrison of the Pirates. 16 times he's been hit. Rizzo normally among the league leaders. 2 years ago he got hit 30 times. The pitch. Popped him up out into shallow center. Taylor will make the grab, 2 down. JD, your Mercedes-Benz keys to the game.
Yeah, well, when you're up against a guy like Scherzer, you've got to maximize your chances, take advantage of every opportunity you get. Middle management, that refers to this middle of the Nationals batting order. Probably the best in the National League, 2 through 6. And then eyes left, look for the left-handed hitters to hopefully do some damage here tonight. He has been just absolutely dominant against right-handed batters. They're hitting just 124 against him. If you were able to sustain that for the entire year, but kind of the mark set by J.R. Richard back in 1980 with the Astros.
Chris Bryant with 2 outs takes low for ball 1.
Wind is swirling in the ballpark tonight. Typically in the summer months, the ball carries well here to right and right center.
Bryant could not hold up on the slider. Scherzer, well decorated, as most baseball fans know, threw 2 no-hitters in 2015. He's won the Cy Young twice, once in the American League with Detroit 2013, and then last year with the Nationals. 4 times he's been an all-star. He led the majors in strikeouts last season, and 3 times has led his league in wins. This is deep, and it's carrying Taylor back. He is at the wall. He leaps. He can't make the play. Rizzo's going to score. Bryant on his way to third. It's a triple. Maybe got it up into that wind a little bit. Taylor initially looked like it was going to be an easy out, and then he just kept drifting and drifting. And it's a 3-base hit.
Beautiful swing of the bat by Chris Bryant. There's been a lot of talk lately about KB's struggles with runners in scoring position. Well, this is not a situation with a man in scoring position, but he drives him home with his deep drive off the wall. If he hadn't been able to get back to the wall a little bit sooner, he might have been able to make a play on that ball.
That brings up Miguel Montero. Swing and a miss, and with that first run for the Cubs, Chicagoland's own Midwest Equity Mortgage will donate $100 to the Pat Tillman Foundation, supporting military veterans and their families.
That one takes a little bit of the sting out of that fastball to the arm for Anthony.
And the Cubs have a hit off Scherzer. 83rd start as a National. 11 times previously he had taken a no-hit bid into the 6th. Broken bat pop up behind the mound. Scherzer is going to grab it in front of Rendon. And the Cubs done in the first, but they get the run on the RBI triple from Bryant. Nationals batting order brought to you by Fix Auto. Turner, Goodwin, Harper at the top, just like last night. Zimmerman, Murphy, Rendon in the middle, as we saw in Game 1. Wieters, Taylor, 7 and 8, and the pitcher Scherzer hitting 9th.
Cubs defensively brought to you by Plumbers 911. Emergency plumbing services one click away at plumbers911.com. J. Happ Bryant, Candelario, Baez, La Stella, Rizzo, Montero, and the big righty Jake Arrieta out there doing his thing. He is 1-1 with a 4.93 ERA. 8 starts against the Nationals in his career. Been really good in this ballpark. 3 starts, and in each of those ball games, he's only allowed 1 run each time.
2 strikes already on Turner.
.42 here, 7 and 5, 436 for the season, making start number 16.
Bounce to the second baseman, La Stella quickly gets rid of it. Safe. Statcast on MLB.com, they went through position by position, the fastest guys in the league. The Nationals have the 2 fastest shortstops in baseball. Trey Turner is number 1. Wilmer Defoe is number 2.
And Turner, one of the fastest guys in the league, and you got to play him a little bit differently. You got to tighten up a little bit. You got to be hyper aggressive, charging ground balls. They say you can't steal first, but Turner just did.
Yep. And he'll get a hit for it.
And he'll be looking to run, I would think.
Yep. Montero has not yet thrown out a would-be base stealer. Working with Arrieta for the 7th time as the battery. Turner got picked off by Wilson Contreras last night. Big lead by Turner. Long pause by Arrieta. He takes off. And he's in. Pretty good throw, just not in time. Turner's got his 29th.
Yeah, could potentially be an issue here in this game. Some of the speed in the Nationals lineup. 29 steals, 5 times caught for Turner, and this is essentially a pitch out. You call for a fastball off the outside corner. So this is kind of a designed pitch up and away, sniffing out the stolen base attempt.
Miguel now 0 for 25 in the caught stealing department. Goodwin shows bunt, and the pitch apparently low. It's 2-0.
Fastball up on the board at 94 miles per hour. We haven't seen a lot of that from Jake this year. That's a good sign, although I think there's a little bit of a hot gun in this ballpark. Last night they had Trinan at 100. Wade Davis at 97. We don't normally see Wade there.
3 balls, no strikes. Jake was really efficient his last start. Just 82 pitches to get through 7 innings in that blowout win in Miami. Having a little first inning trouble here. And it gets a lot more difficult after this. Runner goes, a strike called. Turner steals third.
Yeah, that's fairly brazen there with a left-handed hitter in the box. It's Turner's way of telling Goodwin, don't be trying to bunt, man. Don't give yourself up. I'm just going to go ahead and take the base.
Cubs will play their infield back. Candelario not quite even with a bag, but with Turner's speed and going on contact, he should score, and he will. Diving stop, Rizzo, and Arrieta can't beat him to the bag. RBI infield hit for Goodwin, and we're tied at 1.
All right, 2 ground balls to the infield, 2 hits, no outs. And this obviously a more difficult chance. A very nice play by Rizzo, and Arrieta not able to win the foot race to the bag. It's a little bit of a hesitation there before he breaks, and that was the difference.
That'll bring up Bryce Harper. Hits in 17 of his last 18 games, including 3 in the ball game last night.
He didn't last very long, did it?
First pitch strike.
Harper 4 out of 12 in his career against Jake.
He's closing in on a milestone. Arrieta beginning the night 4 strikeouts away from 1,000. Max Scherzer recently passed 2,000 strikeouts for his career.
Gio Gonzalez got to 1,500 in the ball game here last night. How many kids, well, all over the country, because he's nationwide, but here in this area, when they come up to bat, in their youth leagues, they're doing this little move here before he gets set with the bat, tapping the plate and his foot. Doop, doop, doop. I wish I would have thought of that when I was a kid.
You would have been a better hitter
Probably
if you had done
an all-star.
Swing and a miss. Eddie Butler beat this team 5 scoreless last night. Was a lot of hard contact, but kept the ball in the ballpark. The defense pitched in, and the Cubs never trailed in that game.
They got hairy at the end, so he's gnawing on his knuckles there in that 9th inning.
So the Nationals put this in their game notes. The White Sox scored 4 in the bottom of the ninth last night and came up short against the Yankees. The Nationals did the same thing here. And it was the second time in Major League history, according to Elias, two teams on the same day scored 4 runs in the bottom of the final inning of a 1-run 9-inning loss. The other time it happened was 1929. In the air to right. Bryant makes the catch. 1 down here in the Nationals first, and it'll bring up Brian Zimmerman. He's crunching some Zimmerman numbers.
Yeah.
And they made the final out last night. He went 0 for 5, reached on an error. Since Joe Madden took over the Cubs, he is 5 out of 60 versus Cubs pitching.
Well, the last couple of years, he has really struggled. This year, he's been outstanding, but they neutralized him last night.
So the question is that random? Is it a coincidence? Is there something there that they know about him, and is it in his head? Who knows? 20 strikeouts, so he's punching out 33% of the time, too. Good snag by Rizzo.
In 2015, he hit 249. Last year, he hit 218. So I don't think he was doing a whole lot of damage against anybody. But yeah, they obviously have a pretty solid book on him. 5 out of 19 against Arrieta in his career.
Each team with a first inning run. And fouled back and out of play. Cubs allowed 71 first inning runs. All of last year, they've already given up 65 in the first this season, and we're not yet at the midway point. I mentioned last night Zimmerman is tied for the all-time franchise lead in home runs with Vladimir Guerrero, 234. He's also 3 away from the Washington D.C. Major League record. We've had several Major League teams here. 237. Frank Howard has that record.
Big Hondo.
Zimmerman, the all-time leader on almost every Nationals career offensive list dating back to 2005 as he strikes out. 2 down. It'll bring up Murphy. Murphy's hitting 10 in a row. Third in the majors in batting average at .340. And one of the guys ahead of him is Zimmerman. So, you know, we get in the final week of a season, and you got a couple guys battling for the batting title in their league, and sometimes a manager will play around with playing time depending on where his guy is. We had that last year with DJ LeMahieu against Daniel Murphy. In fact, what would Dusty do if it's Murphy versus Zimmerman? Just say, you guys battle it out, play it out.
I would say
can't play favorites.
Yeah, I'd say whoever offered him the most money would get the more favorable situation. You start negotiating with the guys. Murphy kept his hitting streak alive in his final at bat last night. Ripped a double into the right field corner that started that late rally.
Led the NL in slugging and OPS last season. And he draws the walk. Here comes Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, that's what makes this club so tough is, you get through that trifecta of Harper, Zimmerman, Murphy, and Jason Worth's not even here. He's on the disabled list, but you get through that group, and then you still have Rendon coming up, and he's having an outstanding year.
Adam Eaton out for the year. Blew out his ACL early in the season. Rendon on April 30th against the Mets. There's Adam, I believe. Yep. Rendon 6 for 6, 3 homers, 10 RBIs, 5 runs. It was his 23rd game of the season. His on-base plus slugging went up 202 points that night. First player ever to have a 6 for 6, 3 homer, 10 RBI game. Fouled off.
Rendon, one of the handful of players in the league. Anthony Rizzo also in that group, who has walked more than he has struck out. Great plate coverage, very balanced in the box. Gap power. And obviously some over the fence power too. He's hit 14 long ones this year.
This team has not been shut out all year. They went into the ninth last night without a run before putting up 4. It's scary good, though. There are certain nights where they can not be stopped. They have scored in double digits 13 times already. They've scored at least 14 runs 6 times. They've scored at least 18 runs twice already. 23 runs on 23 hits that April 30th game I just mentioned. How about 23 hits, 6 walks? Nice play, Candelario, and he'll beat Goodwin to third base to end the inning, but the Nationals tie it. It's 1-1 after 1 from our nation's capital. Take a look at the perfect pitch brought to you by Blue Moon, brewed with Valencia orange peel for a taste that shines brighter. These 2 starters, each with a couple of no-hitters. Arrieta and Scherzer Max Scherzer threw 2 in 2015.
Between them, they have 4 no-hitters, 3 Cy Young Awards, and 3 brown eyes.
Yeah, Scherzer famously has a blue right eye and a brown left eye. Fires a strike to John Jay.
Scouts are out spanning the globe looking for right-handers with 1 blue and 1 brown. There must be something to it.
Well, Jay did not start the game last night, but he finished it and made a really big play in the ninth, robbing Rendon of a hit as the Nationals were rallying.
There's that sign they have out in right field is kind of creepy and cool all at the same time. I hadn't noticed the K before that tight shot.
Max is always watching. And on the fists, popped up, and Turner will make the grab. Hooters hot play of the game brought to you by your Chicagoland Hooters, the original wing joint. One of the best plays we've seen in a long, long time as Baez went deep into foul territory to rob Adam Lind.
Yeah, he went a long way, took a great route. Might not see a better play all year. That was spectacular.
He's not just playing defense. He's hitting .419 during a career-long 8-game hitting streak. Two 2-0 on Baez. Three 3-0. Arrieta in a really good stretch at the plate. Waits next. Last 2 starts, 3 for 6, a homer, 3 RBIs.
Nothing wrong with turning it loose there. 3-0. Got a fastball, got it in the zone. That's what you're looking for. Take a big swing. In that situation, nothing wrong with swinging hard if you're swinging at strikes. Nationals bullpen has really struggled, so Dusty Baker's leaned heavily on these starters.
Driven out into deep center. Taylor tracking and now circling and retires Baez.
See the rotation, second in Major League Baseball in innings pitched, just per start. Quality start percentage, so why not leave him out there? I'm sure it's his philosophy. Challenge will be, of course, as you get into the second half of the season, they start to wear down a little bit.
Strike to Arrieta. As Cub fans know, they had a couple of top-notch Cy Young candidates last year, and John Lester and Kyle Hendricks. They finished second and third behind Scherzer. Scherzer got 25 first place votes. Lester got 1. Hendricks got 2. Clayton Kershaw got the other 2. Arrieta finished 9th in the balloting. Scherzer had a .296 last season. Came in with a major league leading 2.09 ERA tonight.
Started with the Diamondbacks in 08. Part of a year in 08, the full year in 2009, then traded to Detroit. Had an outstanding run there, including one Cy Young Award in 2013. He's been durable.
Softly hit in the air, left field. Turner gives way as Goodwin had to reach out to make the catch. So 3 balls in the air, all for outs here in the Cubs second. Please visit the ABC7 Cubs blog at abc7chicago.com/Cubs, presented by nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Go to jeffvuk.com or follow him on social media. Nationwide is on your side.
Hey folks, come celebrate Independence Day at Wrigley Field when the Cubs take on the Rays at 1:20. Up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Cubs camo barbecue mitt presented by Magellan. For more information, visit Cubs.com. Perfect for grilling or base stealing.
Matt Wieters, switch hitting catcher, takes low. Former Orioles matching up here. Former Oriole teammates. So the Cubs go to Baltimore right out of the All-Star break. Obviously, with the 4 days off, they can configure their rotation however they wish. I have a feeling Jake will start in that series in Baltimore, but if he's not on the list, he'll probably lobby for it. You know, he'd love to pitch at Camden Yards in a uniform.
We're not sure exactly when Kyle Hendricks is going to be ready to go.
John Lester missed his chance to face the Red Sox at Fenway. Sometimes it's just the way the ball bounces. But I'd like to see it. I don't know how you feel.
Sure.
Kind of a fun storyline. Kyle still throwing off flat ground, but says the hand feels really good. Line and caught by Baez. That was like a 2 out of 10 for him.
We're getting spoiled.
Most guys we'd say, oh my goodness, what a play.
He turns the spectacular into the routine. Just the A certain je ne sais quoi when he makes the play out there. Panache.
Oh, look at you. Taylor, line shot center field, and it holds up for Ian Happ.
A couple hang with them here in the bottom of the second. Solid contact, but 2 quick outs for Arrieta. Conciliatory little pat on the back. Way to go, man. Way to hit it. Stay right there. You'll be there. You'll get it. It'll drop in next time. Yeah. Whatever.
Scherzer's not an automatic out. Career 183. And a called strike.
Against those fish in Miami last time, it was an 11-1 Cubs win. Jake went 7 innings, allowed 6 hits, 1 run, did not walk a man, struck out 3. It wasn't an overpowering performance, but it was very efficient.
Coming on is Bryant. And they go 1, 2, 3 in the second. Chicago Cubs baseball on ABC7 is being brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Ford, America's best-selling brand, inviting you to go further in our fuel-efficient vehicles. Check out our entire lineup at your local Ford store or buyfordnow.com. And by Lakeside Bank. We make banking simple. Lakeside Bank. It's about time.
Oh, man, look at that. Hey, you can't beat summer in Chicago, especially at beautiful Wrigley Field. There are only 11 home games in July, so plan now. Tickets are still available for most of the games next month, especially for July 5th's matchup with the Rays. Visit Cubs.com today to get the seats you want.
Switch hitting Jeimer Candelario back from AAA Iowa and back in the lineup again tonight. He doubled last night, 1 out of 4. Hit by a pitch as well. 1-2 on Candelario. Hit 6th last night. He's batting 9th here tonight. And he just got a piece of it. So the count holds at 1-2. Hey, our good friend, the senior United States Senator from the great state of Illinois, Dick Durbin, has stopped by with his Cubs jersey on. Senator Durbin, great to have you with us. How are you?
I want to tell you, this is a perfect night for baseball. Last night was two in a row.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, so Candelario is out. You had a fun event earlier today. Tell us about it.
I've got this little table in my office, which we've got to put on eBay or whatever you do with those things, because it is three different occasions. It has had the Stanley Cup on twice, and now the World Series championship trophy for the Cubs on that same little table. Pretty
awesome. It's nice to have bragging rights, isn't it?
It is good, and you get a lot of people coming by there. You know, Mike Enzi of Wyoming. I've always liked the Cubs. It's great.
Jumping on the bandwagon. That bandwagon.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Anthony Rizzo hit by a pitch, scored a run in the first. Big cut, and he missed it. Nationals having a good season. And baseball's got a long history here in Washington, D.C., and it's good to see them doing well.
They're doing great.
There's the 0-1 from Scherzer. And it is a strike on Rizzo. I want to ask you about a couple of Cubs, because I heard you've really been instrumental. Miguel Montero and his citizenship?
Yes.
So how did that happen?
Well, it started with Wilson Contreras.
That one drilled to right. Foul.
I'm listening to the World Series, and they said Wilson Contreras, mother and father, are in Venezuela and can't get in to see him play. They can't get a visa. And I'm thinking, Durbin, get on the phone. Call John Kerry. Let's figure out what's going on. 48 hours later, they had the visa. They made it in. And Wilson Contreras asked to see me after the season's over, comes by my office, says thanks. Nice guy.
That's
word.
Great.
Go ahead.
No, that's great. I was saying that. That's a nice thing about your job, that you can make a phone call and make it happen.
So the word's out now among the Spanish-speaking players that my chief of staff, Clarice Alduque, a lifelong Cubs fan, can help him out. Miguel Montero calls and says, Miss Duque, I'd like to ask you something. Could I be a citizen? So we start the wheels moving.
Okay, wonderful.
That's great.
And he made it. And I understand he's very proud of it.
Hell, he is. Absolutely. 1-2 here on Anthony Rizzo. A 1-1 tie, 3rd inning. Nationals over shift on the infield to the right as Rizzo really chokes up here with 2 strikes. And a fly ball, left field, Goodwin on the move, and he makes the catch. There was a very special baseball game played in this very ballpark very recently after the horrific shooting at the practice of the Republican team. What do you know about the history of the game itself, and do some senators also participate?
Not me, but some do, and they do it for charity. It's a good cause, and it's a game that's been going on for a long time. House and Senate, Democrats, Republicans. Special meeting last week after that horrible incident.
It was well attended, and I'm really glad they played the game. I think it was important to carry it through. And
last week, the women of the Senate and House played softball against the press corps.
That one drilled out into deep right center, back toward the wall, off the wall. Estella just missed a home run. It's a 2-out double. Got that high wall out there in right center.
Now the game that the Cubs had against Max Scherzer at Wrigley last year, one of the worst outings he's had in a number of years. They scored 7 runs off of him in 5 innings, hit 4 home runs, and Tommy La Stella hit one of the long balls. It was La Stella, Rizzo, and Ben Zobrist hit a couple, and La Stella obviously sees the ball pretty well out of Max Scherzer's right hand.
So we were really close to seeing these two teams play last October. Were you rooting for the Nationals so you could
Oh no.
pop over here? Not against the Cubs, but against the Dodgers.
Well, okay, I'd favor the Nationals over the Dodgers. But,
a lot of people think these two teams will meet up this October. Did you get to Wrigley for the World Series?
I did not, unfortunately, but I watched it passionately every single night on television with the rest of Illinois and America. It was the most exciting series.
One strike on Ian Happ. RBI chance here with 2 outs. Now, the mayors usually have bets. Did you have any bets with your fellow senators from Ohio?
Yes, with Sherrod Brown of Cleveland, who's a real baseball fan and expert. And I ended up with some beer that my staff ended up drinking. I will tell you, at the parade, though, I ran into Joe Madden, and I asked him about the rain delay. I thought it was the most amazing and revealing statement that he made to me. Here we are, tie game, 10th inning, 17-minute rain delay. And he looked in, he said, we go back into the locker room. I said, did you know that there was a players meeting going on? He said, yeah, I knew. I said, and you didn't go into the meeting? And he said, no. I said, why? He said, Jason Hayward is a good leader. I knew he'd conduct a good meeting. What a manager.
Yeah. He knew that was for the players only, and it worked out. Long pause by Scherzer. 1-2. Did he hit him? No. Somehow Happ got out of the way.
Javier Baez's diving catch last night was incredible.
Yeah, we're still talking about it, and we will be for quite some time. Just off the inside.
So does your schedule
corner.
allow you to get out here very often?
No, not too often. And frankly, I watch him on TV, but more than that. But they said he covered 132 feet from where he was standing to catch that ball.
Yeah, it's the kind of ball you see a lot of guys kind of twisting and turning. I mean, he just ran a beeline right to the spot.
And if you see the replay, just checks the wall the last second.
3-2. Happ swings and misses. We'll show that highlight to break here. Senator Durbin, thanks for stopping by.
It's great to see you.
As always, good to see you in your Cubs jersey as we get one more look at Javier Baez. 1-1. Nationals third. Turner takes a pitch a little bit off that inside edge. From Arrieta, infield hit, 2 stolen bases, and the Nationals run in the first.
Guy that can do a lot of damage just with his speed. Turn a single or a walk into a triple in a hurry here tonight. But he's just, he's not a little punch and Judy hitter either. He can sting the ball. He's hit 7 home runs, driven in 28, hitting .271. Talented young player.
Fouled back out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. What a gorgeous night here in DC.
Typically this time of year, it's hot and humid.
Brian checks in from Waikiki Beach in Honolulu, watching the game on his iPhone. I would say this afternoon.
Mahalo.
It's not tonight just yet. Leadoff man has reached. And let's take a look at today's Comcast Business of Baseball. Tonight's starters. 27th matchup of starters with at least 2 no-hitters each. Since 1913, 6th since 1980. And the most frequent matchup, Ryan and Holtzman, 4 different times.
Of the 27, Nolan Ryan appeared in 8 of those ball games. It's no big shocker.
Turner not running as Goodwin takes a strike, and you would expect Turner to be going at some point again. Got 30 steals after the 2 in the first inning.
He's not measuring as aggressive a lead, and oh man, Cubs caught a break there.
Good day ever. Ball hit Tim Timmons.
There was a lot of juice on that throw from Arrieta too. Turner might have ended up on third base had Timmons not been standing where he was. And we'll work him over here pretty good, I would think. If whatever kind of balk move you have, quick move, whatever it takes. Well worth trying here. A little quick pitch, but an errant pitch. That's always the dilemma, right? You're trying to work really hard to shut down the running game, but if the quality of the offerings to home plate suffer, is it worth it?
Well, as you look around the diamond, you hear these first couple of games, we got injuries, a lot of young players. Turner goes and Goodwin fouls. We talked so much about the Cubs team defense last year. One of the best defensive seasons I think we'll ever see. And to take nothing away from the guys in the lineup tonight, but no Contreras behind the plate. If Russell's at short, Baez is probably playing second and not La Stella. Happ still learning center field. So you don't quite have the same defense that we've been used to seeing. As Turner with a delayed steal, would look like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He took a big secondary lead and he looked back in, and I don't know if he was just reacting to the way Montero caught the pitch.
Yeah, that's a delayed steal.
So hop, hop, and go.
3 already. Since June 8th, he's had 3 games of at least 3 steals. He had 4 on June 18th in New York. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. 2 away from 1,000 now for Arrieta.
Yeah, big punch out there to keep the ball out of play. Swing and miss on the off-speed pitch. Good changeup here. Perfectly executed.
Mentioned last night, Harper served a 3-game suspension recently for his role in that nasty bench-clearing brawl the Nationals had with the Giants. Started with Harper getting hit by Hunter Strickland. I believe Harper's quote was, "I saw red in my eyes." I want to say 96 off the hip.
Strickland delivered a short right there. Harper got in a couple good blows, and then
Samardzija and Morris,
teammates, both entering the fray at the same time. And man,
well, Jeff's a former football player. Yeah, they were trying to hurt each other. That was not for show.
a lot of talk afterwards about the way Buster Posey reacted. Normally the catcher is going to get out there and try to stop that hitter from getting to the mound, but Buster just kind of stood up and watched it develop.
Fly ball down the left field line. And it'll find the seats.
And Buster say afterwards, hey, there's big boys flying around out there. I don't want to be in the middle of that. And I think basically he was saying, okay, Hunter, you want to drill a guy? Obviously you're ready to go. Go ahead.
Well, there are kind of unwritten rules for hockey fights that are obviously much more frequent. But baseball brawls, very rarely do the two combatants who originally started get hurt. It's when you have collisions like we saw, guys pulling people off the pile, guys getting caught under the pile, and that's when it really gets dangerous.
Yeah.
But because you don't want to sanction fighting in your sport, you don't really set up rules. But I suppose as Turner goes again and Harper fouls, I wouldn't call it an ideal world, but maybe a better setup would be, okay, Bryce and Hunter, you guys have 15 seconds, throw as many as you want, and it's over. Everybody else stay out of it.
Well, there was talk years ago, this back when I was an active player, and there was more brawls back in the day than there are now, and that's a good thing. But there was talk of instituting some kind of a third man in rule where guys that came out of the dugout would be fined severely, maybe even suspended. And the Players Association said, no. You know, it's a long-held tradition in our sport. When things get hairy, guys come to the aid of their teammates, and we're not gonna buy into a rule that doesn't allow that to happen. Because normally, the two guys in the heat of it are trying to hurt each other. Most other guys are out there trying to play peacemaker, unless there's just some real bad blood between two clubs, and that's when it gets real ugly.
Yeah, and I've heard of that before. Back around your era, the idea of, I've got something against this guy, so I'm going to make sure I get him in
I'm
this
going to
fight.
find him, yeah.
1-2.
We had one with Montreal one time, and unfortunately, I happened to be up enjoying a nice cup of coffee in the clubhouse in the Astrodome, so I got to watch most of it on TV. And when Danny Darwin came out of our dugout, there was like a cluster of Expos that saw him, and it was like, Darwin! And they just converged upon him. About 5 guys were just throwing haymakers on Danny. He had his head down and swinging his arms left and right.
Turner runs. Harper fouls yet again.
He came out of it. His jersey was all tore up. His face was pale. He went up to the clubhouse and got sick to his stomach. It was awesome. Yeah, and if you watch the video of that, and I don't know if it's out there, but the video of that fight, you know, it's about a minute and a half into it, and I come trotting out of the dugout. What's going on out here, fellas?
Harper held. Did it involve Larry Anderson?
Larry Anderson threw a slider that went right over Spike Owens' head.
Well, there's 16 seconds of it somewhere on the internet, at least. Off the end of the bat in the air, it's still up, and it's caught by Jay. Another excellent sliding grab by John Jay.
How about the Chief Justice getting it done here in the nation's capital? 2 nights in a row, spectacular sliding plays for Jay. Nominate him.
So with 2 outs, it's Zimmerman. Not nearly the urgency for Turner to steal third at this point. Already in scoring position with 2 down.
Now, with his speed, he'll score on any hit to the outfield. So the only advantage to getting third base here would be pass ball wild pitch or an infield hit. Situation too, a lot of hitters, they don't want that guy on the move. They don't want the distraction.
There he goes, and
undefended.
Yep, Cubs don't even try, so he's got 4 tonight. In the 3rd inning.
Well, probably smart play on the part of the Cubs just to hold your ground defensively. Ooh, that's a good pitch.
Yeah, inside the box.
Yeah,
not even borderline.
Clearly, yeah.
Can't
frustration. You know, Jake usually doesn't show a whole lot of emotion when he feels like he's getting squeezed, but Hanover tonight looks like he's been a little more generous up than down.
So 2 walks in the inning. And we'll have to deal with Murphy. Joe always has a clever line. The other night talking about where the Cubs stand, he said the biggest thing is we got to keep the floaties on until we get this thing right.
Yeah, he's talking, you know, referencing the, you know, his young club, like a young child learning how to swim, having to wear the floaties, and it's a young team treading water.
Murphy with runners at first and third. 2 down, 3rd inning, and a 1-1 tie. Here we go. Chris Bosio will head out. Maybe just try to kind of break up the rhythm here, because the rhythm has been Jake throwing pitches he thinks are strikes. Give him something else to think about.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of that. Boz may want to offer an opinion or two to Larry Vanover here too. So Larry will come out and break up the conversation.
Let's see if they have any words. Of course they have a few words. Chris always sticks up for his pitchers. You ever had a pitching coach come out and say, I have nothing to say to you, but where's the umpire?
Yeah,
I'm going to air him out.
Just steaming, yeah, just kind of.
Bounce past Rizzo, but it's LaStella. Did he stay in the bag? He did not. Run scores, throw to third. Out. Zimmerman makes the third out. But hang on. For now, the run scores. Joe wants to make sure that Rizzo wasn't on the bag, because if he was, he'll challenge. And a double clutch by LaStella.
Yeah, they just upset the timing of the play there. And with the base runner behind him, Anthony's not sure how much time he has with Murphy coming down the line, and a little high to the inside. On the foul side, no challenge coming.
No, he is going to challenge.
He is going to challenge.
He is. They're dragging the infield, but technically the third inning is not over yet. And this manager's challenge is brought to you by the Subaru Love Promise. It's our pledge to do right by the Chicagoland communities where we all live and work. Even if this is a 50-50 play here for Joe, I think it's worth it, because it could take a run off the board.
Yeah, and you're facing Max Scherzer, and you just don't know how many you're going to get.
Hard to tell.
It's hard to tell. You know, there's a lot of times in real time you watch first baseman and you think he pulled his foot. It happens all the time. Then you see the replay and you know, well, you know what? He was probably on it. That it was very hard to tell. My best guess is this call is going to stand.
They did charge LaStella with an error, so that will be an unearned run, as Turner has now scored both their runs. And if it holds up, they will have their first lead in the series. But we need to wait to see what New York says.
I don't know if they'll be able to get tight enough on that shot at first base to see whether his toe is making contact with the bag or not as he receives the ball.
This might be the best look. Oh, the ball's already in the glove. Maybe. They're becoming more convinced that he's out.
It's an almost impossible call to make on the field because you're listening for the sound and watching the toe. This is a call. I think, you know, umpires would be well served to get a little further away to get some perspective on a play like this. But again, that's a 50-50 call for an umpire. You're just trying to make your best guess, and that's the beauty of instant replay. You make your best guess. Somebody wants to take a second look at it. That's what you do. And a third look, and a fourth look, and a fifth look, and on and on. And it's an important call, and it's worth taking some time. It's interesting, the Nationals all out on the field.
They're ready.
They're all ready to go.
They're going to have to wait so we can pay the bills. No matter what the call is.
Has Scherzer thrown his warm-up pitches?
I don't think so.
Waiting.
So tough.
Funny how you can be convinced at one angle and then see another and go, well, maybe not. See, and this goes back to the point I made, well, we've made over and over again over the last couple of years. If it takes this long, then the call should just stand, right? Because it's supposed to be conclusive.
Unfortunately, yep. And it's 2-1 Nationals after 3. Brought to you by 4 Winds Casinos, your entertainment escape. Arrieta, Scherzer, you see their Cy Young winning numbers. Size matters. Both guys allowing a batting average under 200. Arrieta with the 1.77 ERA 2 seasons ago. So the Cubs trail for the first time in the series. Nationals get an unearned run. That is foul.
Great swing. Unfortunately foul, otherwise leadoff double for Bryant. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, you're up against a guy like Scherzer, you got to play a tight game. You got to make all the plays and give him extra outs. A run without a hit, a couple of walks and an error.
One and 2 on Bryant. Max Scherzer on Father's Day made some news. He's going to be a dad. Another one rolled foul. And his wife announced that Erica is due in November with their first child. You want to know boy or girl? Or do you want to wait?
Oh, we were waiters.
So do you want to wait till the baby's born until I tell you? 'Cause I know.
Who? I think you said Erica.
No, Erica's his wife.
Oh.
I'm saying
Thought they'd already
I
named
know the
child.
sex of the baby.
Oh, you do?
Do you want to know?
Sure.
Swing and a miss. Baby girl. So you waited on all 3?
Yeah.
Here's Montero.
There was a video going around the other day, and you know how people do that now. They have these announcement parties when they're going to have a baby, and they have a surprise, and they'll release the pink or the blue balloons.
Right.
This was people somewhere in Arkansas, I believe, and they were noodling. You know where you go down, and the guy comes out with the catfish on his arm.
Right.
So they noodled this. I guess that's the term. This catfish, and they pulled it out of the pond or the water. And then they had like a pink tag attached to this guy. Pulled out this pink tag indicating girl.
Line shot. Taylor will cut it off in the alley. Well, that's a little too extravagant for my taste. Well struck by Montero, but 4 and out. 2 down. Here's Jay. And low for a ball.
2 hits aside so far. Scherzer has struck out 4. Not the dominant swing and miss that we've seen quite often from Scherzer, but he's also one of those guys who can get on a roll, you know, kind of going along, laboring a little bit, and then boom, he can catch his stride and punch out 7 out of 8. This is pitching coach Mike Maddox, Chris Spire, the bench coach, next to Mike. This former shortstop, had a long major league career.
Former Cub player and coach. Good tennis player too. Although he's retired from tennis. Got some knee issues. I used to play him. I don't think I ever beat Chris. President's race. Popular in between inning event.
We're missing one
here in D.C.
So he must be up to some hijinks.
Line and caught by Murphy. 2 lineouts in there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Great swings.
4th inning. Scherzer leads Arrieta 2-1.
Take a look at the NL Central standings, brought to you by the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group. There you see the front-running Milwaukee Brewers. They've been hanging on to first place for a while now. 4 games better than 500. Cubs a game back. Cardinals have been scuffling. Pirates playing decent ball of late. The Reds have fallen off, but fairly mediocre so far in the NL Central, so everybody's still in play as we near the midway point in the season. Game number 77 for the Cubs.
Did you give the Brewer Red update?
I didn't.
5-5 in the 4th in Cincinnati. That's a base hit. Rendon is on.
Every night here they do the President's Race at Nationals Park. Seem to be missing George Washington tonight. Oh, there he comes.
Seems hardly fair.
Yeah. Contrary to his reputation.
Well, Teddy, I guess, has not won a race.
I thought he finally snuck in there and won one.
Not this year.
Not this year.
Pena, Arcia, Shaw, Hamilton, Suarez, Duvall have all homered tonight for their respective teams. Guerra and Adelman, the pitchers. So 6 homers in the first 4 innings in Cincy.
That's what Cincy does. There goes Rendon.
Hit and run. Safe. Rendon beat the throw as Wieters swung and missed. 5 stolen bases for the Nationals tonight.
That's not a big part of Rendon's game. That's his 4th, but they're taking liberties tonight. He's got a modest lead. Even with the busted hit and run, he's able to get in there.
Right 2. Rays lead the Pirates 1-0 top 6 at PNC. Cobb against Williams in that one. Rays will be the Cubs' next home opponent at Wrigley Field. 2-game series next week. Called strike 3. Dodge out of town the scoreboard. Test drive a Dodge Challenger or Charger at the Dodge Drive and Discover sales event going on now. We will be in Cincinnati Friday night, and the Brewers come back a week from Thursday to Wrigley Field due to that rain out in May. Taylor fouls off. 0-1 on him.
He's got power. He's hit 11 home runs. Swings and misses a lot. Not just Chase. He gets beat in the zone a fair bit of the time.
Base hit to left. Rendon to third. He's going to be stopped by Bob Henley, and they have him at the corners with the pitcher coming up.
Well, that was tentative by Henley.
Yeah, I thought he would send him with a pitcher on deck.
And Jay doesn't have a great throwing arm out there in left field. It was sharply hit. I think that's a go situation with 1 out. Well, just getting to the bag as Jay got to the ball, and that's probably what dictated his decision.
And Scherzer would like to have a word with the Washington third base coach.
This is the situation where you see Joe Madden quite frequently use the safety squeeze, and I'm sure that's what he's talking about here, how he wants his guys to handle this defensively. This is a meeting with Arrieta as much as it is with the infielders. And who knows what he told them. Among the many things he may have said was, look, we're just going to play this straight defense, but I'm going to come out here and talk to you guys and get their minds swirling over there, thinking we're going to do something really funky here.
Rizzo holding on Taylor. And Ilario with his toes touching the grass.
That's the other piece of it. The straight steal certainly in play for Taylor.
Two-one Washington. Nationals threatening to get more. Scherzer shows, takes a strike. Taylor runs, and he'll get second without a throw. 6 steals for the Nationals.
Kind of see the strain on Miggy's face. No fun for a catcher. Teams are taking liberties like this on you.
The franchise record Expos Nationals. Single game 7, so they're 1 away from that. Scherzer bounces, deflection, and everybody reaches. So the question is, and we'll get another look, was Baez trying to barehand to throw to the plate or to first? Did he have enough time to glove it to get Scherzer? My hunch is no. But he did not have time to glove it, but we'll find out.
Well, yeah, he was thinking home, and after the deflection, I don't think he's going to have a play at home. But you could tell by his body language, the way he was pursuing that ball, he was thinking home. And the wiser play after the deflection would have been, as you see now, just Scherzer passing by. So I think if he does two-hand this ball and flip it to first, he's going to get an out there.
Yep.
Max is staying there if he runs.
Taylor steals third. Here he comes. It's their 7th stolen base. Error Montero. 4-1.
Guys are getting on base for the Nationals tonight from the Cubs point of view. You know, you worry about Harper and Zimmerman and Rendon, all these sluggers, but the speed guys, Turner and Taylor, that are really making the difference in this ball game, the way they're running the bases.
Two 2-0 on Turner. See a little scurrying out in the bullpen. Nobody up and throwing. And bounced wide of third. Two big errors on the Cubs here in the last couple of innings. Pop down the right field line. Rizzo trying to find room, but he cannot. The kick and the 2-2 is a curve low. 3-2 with Goodwin on deck. Turner has absolutely been the table setter tonight. On twice, 4 steals, 2 runs. Called strike 3 on the inside. And for Arrieta, that's career strikeout number 1,000. And it is Goodwin. Cubs are 3-2 on this 11-game road trip. 2-2 split in Miami. Held on for a 5-4 nail-biting win last night. Cubs are trailing 4-1 tonight.
Yeah, 6-4 over their last 10 ball games, which is the best record in the NL Central over the last 10 days. Looking for that streak, not, winning 3 out of 4 or something like that. Just a sustained run. 15 out of 20, something like that.
Ball 4. Another walk issued by Arrieta.
Yeah, it's a dangerous situation here now with Harper coming up.
4 walks tonight, plus the 5 hits. Harper 0 for 2 as he steps in.
A hill to climb down 3 now to Scherzer, but the hill could get very steep here in a moment if you're not careful with Harper. Right now Jake's kind of all over the place. I think the running game is affecting him as much as it is Montero.
Yeah, unfortunately filling up the box score, but not the way you'd want. With the 7 steals, the 4 walks, and now a wild pitch. So that's 6 consecutive misses. Probably his final inning. He's due up second in the 5th. Pitch count nearing 90. And only in the 4th inning. Look at that. 3 out of the 4 innings, at least 25 pitches made. Harper walks. So the bases are loaded for Zimmerman.
The wild pitch, creating the opening at first base and falling behind Harper. Clearly, Arrieta just decided not to give in. Let's pick your poison situations. Harper or Zimmerman, and he opts for the right-handed hitting Zimmerman.
Zimmerman crushes one. Foul. Well, into the concourse.
Zimmerman came up emptying a couple of big chances last night, and got an opportunity here, and he's not waiting.
He was able to hold on his swing. 1-1. Alex Cobb has no hit the Pirates through 6 tonight in Pittsburgh. 1-0 Rays. We'll keep an eye on that one. A bouncer to short. Baez fires to La Stella to end the inning. They get a couple of runs, tons of steals, the wild pitch, 2 walks. A tough inning for Arrieta. He might be done. Chicago way with ABC 7 Eyewitness News in the morning. Weekdays with Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Barron, and Tracy Butler. Last night's lineup for the Cubs, the youngest this season in the major leagues. More on that with Jesse Rogers.
Thanks, Len. Yeah, it was the youngest to take the field of any team in any game this season. It means there's constant communication going on between the coaching staff and these young players that come up from AAA. You see Gary Jones talking to Jeimer Candelario. The infielders are his responsibility. Brandon Hyde with Mark Zagunis. Then John Maley's on the phone with AAA, getting the weaknesses and strengths of these hitters that come up. The overriding message is don't try to do too much. Keep it simple. And then Joe Madden will talk to each of these guys when they come up as well. And he told me his message is also similar in the sense that no one has ever had success doing their job uptight. That's what he told me this afternoon. Certainly worked last night. That young team beat the Nationals. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jesse. Yeah, you know, I think when these kids come to the big leagues, there's an assumption among fans that it's just constant instruction, and I think Joe's thing is almost the opposite. They don't want to clutter up their head. They got enough to worry about trying to hit a big league fastball. Or
yeah, you try to deliver simple messages. You talk after plays, after the ball game about nuances or things you could have done a little bit differently, but you do it in such a way as you have to be a little bit of a psychologist. You point out the fault, but you also pat them on the back, say, yeah, I understand what you're trying to do, but here's what we'd like to see you do a little bit differently.
2-2 on Baez. Arrieta is on deck to take the at bat. Nobody throwing in the bullpen.
I'm really impressed by Ian Happ and his approach to the game, because there's an aggressiveness to it. It's not reckless. And it's not fearful. And that's a lot of times with young players you see hesitancy. They're unwilling to take an extra base. They'll yield on a fly ball, on a ball that they should catch, but they don't want to intrude on a veteran out there, things of that nature. He understands his responsibility depending on where he is in the field.
A bouncer pulling Rendon in, and he gets it to Zimmerman in time for the out.
On Wednesday the 5th, Cubs take on the Rays. First pitch is at 1:20, and up to the first 10,000 early arriving fans will receive a Turning 2 bobblehead presented by Aquafina. Tickets are still available for this matchup. Visit Cubs.com. It is funny when you think about how young this team is. It's more likely what you would see for a team on the rise, not a defending World Series championship team.
Right. That the window's opening, not that it's wide open already. One-0 to Arrieta.
Right. It's not like you better get it now, because these guys are on the downside of their career.
Well,
remarkable thing to have one in the bank already.
And I would also add that maybe there's more than one window, right? Because of the current makeup of the rotation. Jake Arrieta due to be a free agent after the season. John Lackey nearing the end of his career. So potentially you could have to replace at least 40% of your rotation next year. Three and two. So that's where it gets really intriguing, getting into the real heavy trade season. If the Cubs add a starting arm way up in the air to left, not deep at all, and it'll be Goodwin. Do you do the true rent-a-player for the last 2 or 3 months of the season, or you give up a little more and try to get a guy who you can control contractually for beyond this season?
Or both.
Yeah,
I think the emphasis, the ideal situation is the latter, a controllable player, a guy who can come in and be a big part of your rotation now, but is not due to be a free agent at the end of the year, that you have another couple of years of control.
Off the end of the bat, foul.
That's when you really got to know your own prospects too. The guy, people are going to come. They're going to come calling for this kid. They're going to want Happ. They're going to ask about Schwarber, Eloy Jimenez.
Now internally, the organization is really excited about a lot of young pitching, but it's in the low minor leagues, so those guys are still a few years away. Midway in the 5th, it's 4-1 Washington. Fun Cam. America runs on Duncan. Into right, and a base hit for Murphy. Arrieta starting inning number 5 on the mound. Over 90 pitches. Jesse was talking about the kids. There was one right behind him.
Like, put me in, I'm ready.
I think we stole Giangreco's bit. He likes to do those kicker stories at the end of the sports. Maybe it'll make it in there. Here's Rendon. Well, the Nationals have had the leadoff man reach in every inning but the second.
Murphy, one guy, really be surprised to see run here, so I can just pitch.
High. That's right-hander Felix Pena just starting to throw in the Cubs pen.
The only Cub reliever who did not work in the ball game last night. It's all hands on deck for the pen as they hung on to win that ball game. Carl Edwards was brilliant in his outing last night. Struck out the side. Devilish curveball.
A stressful outing for the closer, and he didn't get a save out of it. Wade Davis. But
he's probably down tonight, huh?
Cubs won the game.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You got to win that one. You use all those resources. You empty the chamber with all those relievers. You had that 5-run lead almost get away. That would have been a kick in the gut loss, especially knowing you're dealing with Scherzer tonight and Strasburg tomorrow.
(3-1) pulled foul.
Couple of Texans getting after it here. Arrieta and Rendon. Jake, TCU. Rendon, a Houston product. Played collegiately at Rice.
Murphy takes off. The pitch misses. So 2 on, nobody out for Wieters.
Yeah. Probably going to do it, I would think. Trying to get one more out of him, but it doesn't look like it's in there tonight. Fazio checking on Pena's availability. He's not currently throwing, but is apparently ready.
So Joe has already made the call. And this call to the pin. As Pena takes a couple of more tosses. Brought to you by Lakeside Bank. It's about time. 4-1 Washington. We'll be back. Baseball on ABC7 is being brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Hyundai. Visit your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers today and see how better drives us. And by the Bob LaCourcio Auto Group. You're going to like buying a car this way. 4-1, Washington leads. Cubs winning last night 5-4. They've got 2 on, nobody out, 5th inning, and here's Felix Pena.
Pena on for just the 9th time with the Cubs. No record in ERA, right at 6. So in 12 innings, allowed 16 hits, 3 home runs, walked 6, struck out 12. Made 11 appearances with the Cubs last year. His first taste of big league action. So after a very good one last time out, very efficient one, anything but for Jake here tonight.
Popped up by Wieters. Infield fly rule in effect as La Stella makes the catch in shallow right. Hey, Cub fans, if you miss any of tonight's action, ABC7 rebroadcasts each one of its Cubs matchups on the Live Well Network. Tonight's encore of Cubs Nats will air in its entirety beginning at 11 p.m. on ABC7's digital channel 7.2 and the following cable channel positions. Taylor 1 for 2, 2 steals and a run. Did you know Maury Wills had broadcast Fargo Moorhead Redhawks Northern League games for 22 years?
I did not know that.
He just retired. Last few years he'd only been doing a handful of games. Bounce toward third foul. Wills is 84 years old. Spent parts of 22 seasons announcing games. Formerly was a coach, served as an ambassador for the ball club. Originally was offered the job while he was speaking at a sports banquet in Fargo, and he said that getting the job with them helped beat his drug and alcohol addiction, and called it his second home.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
This is the Fargo, what are
Moorhead Redhawks. They play in the Independent Northern League.
They play the St. Paul Saints in that group.
Yeah.
Did you see Kevin Millar the other night hitting a home run for the St. Paul Saints?
In a real game?
Well, they had some kind of an anniversary game, and it looked like a real game. It was the 25th anniversary of their first season, and Millar was on that first St. Paul Saints team in '93.
Yeah, I heard he hit a home run. I thought it was like in BP or something.
No, it was.
Wow. So good luck in retirement, Maury Wills.
It was a spring training, or he did for the longest time with the Dodgers, right? He was their bunting instructor and base stealing.
They had his own little field.
Yeah.
He's dedicated to bunting. MVP in 1962, stole 104 bases. Taylor couldn't hold.
And not to diminish Maury Wills' accomplishment in 1962, but I bet you if the sabermetric community got a hold of the numbers from that year, you could make a pretty strong argument that Maury probably should not have been the most valuable player. But I think all those steals probably got everybody's attention.
Now you're going to make me look up his numbers.
I'm going to look it up too.
Deep the other way, and off the out-of-town board. Couple of runs will score. It is a 2-run double for Taylor. Boy, when Adam Eaton got hurt in late April, some thought that was going to be a devastating blow to this club. But Michael Taylor has been absolutely terrific in his stead.
Yeah, that's the nature of baseball. One man's misfortune, another man's opportunity. The question is, does player B take advantage? And Taylor is, in a big way. If those runs come home, they will be charged to Jake Arrieta's line. So 6 runs, 5 earned.
Well, it's not going to look like a very pretty line. 4+ for Arrieta. 6 hits, 6 walks in his outing tonight. Swing and a miss by Scherzer. He now has a 5-run lead. Other baseball notes. I saw this on the AP wire. An Alabama man has been accused of stealing a Braves golf cart from SunTrust Park.
Really?
Yeah.
Needed a ride home?
And then he crashed it. Marcus Jerry Stevens accused of stealing a $4,500 cart. The warrant states a witness chased him after he crashed it into a metal pole around 1:40 a.m. last Wednesday. Ground ball into center for a base hit. Here comes Happ's throw to the plate. Taylor looked like he wanted to score and then hit the brakes. So Scherzer has 2 hits in the ball game.
An early stop sign thrown up there by Henley. And the throw was well offline. Taylor would have scored.
That brings up Turner. Runners at first and third. And only 1 out. Scherzer now with 8 career 2-hit games. I mentioned some of those big numbers the Nationals have put up in terms of double-digit games. Well, they've gotten into the Cubs bullpen early. Breaking ball misses the inside corner.
Yeah, Maury Wills had a nice year in 1962, but no way should he have been the most valuable player. Willie Mays, 49 home runs, had an OPS of 999. Aaron and Frank Robinson both with OPS over 1,000. Ernie Banks had a big year.
Not very deep in left as Jay and Baez are out there. It'll be the shortstop to make the catch. So they get Turner for the second time, but let's take a look at how Turner has been painting the corners of the bases today with all these steals.
7 steals for the Nationals here tonight. 4 of them for the speedster Turner. This is a delayed steal just for variety. He's gotten third base twice. This time without a throw.
It was brought to you by Benjamin Moore, paint like no other.
I witnessed a game here years ago. The Astros playing the Nationals. I guess it would have been over at RFK. Frank Robinson was managing. Matt LaCroix was catching, and he hadn't thrown anybody out. And the Astros stole 7 bases in that game. He committed a couple throwing errors, and the different thing, the Nationals had a pretty good lead at the time. So Frank Robinson actually had to remove LaCroix from the game. The Nationals went on to win it, and Robbie was choking back tears in the post-game press conference. He felt so bad. He goes, I didn't want to embarrass the kid. I just felt really bad, but if I didn't make that move, we were going to lose that ball game.
2-0 on Goodwin. Cubs already down 5. And they're trying to keep the Nationals from letting this game really get out of hand. 2 more men on. And then the other question, as Goodwin walks to load the bases, if you're Dusty Baker with a bullpen that has been very shaky, no matter how big your lead is tonight, you know, do you take Scherzer out a little earlier than normal?
I imagine he'll get him through 7. Which, for Scherzer lately, that is a little earlier than normal. He's been averaging 8 over his last 6 starts. And this may be an outing for Pena where he might have to wear it. You know, if he doesn't start to get some outs, Joe may just decide, you know what, I'm not going to use a lot of bullpen arms here tonight. Keep the powder dry to fight tomorrow, and sometimes the pitcher just has to go out there and battle through it, end up taking a bit of a beat down.
Harper takes low and maybe outside. But kind of interesting that in May, Harper avoided arbitration for next year. He signed a contract for 2018 at $21.625 million. That's his final year before he's due to hit free agency, and he'll be 26 when he becomes a free agent. So the question for Mike Rizzo and for Bryce Harper, can they get together on a deal beyond next season? I can't even fathom the total dollars that he should command on the open market. I would imagine it would be record breaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen things written that say maybe Harper would benefit from trying to make it work here in Washington, and already a franchise icon, comfortable here.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for that. I mean, he's going to get paid no matter where he goes, and yeah, there may be a more lucrative deal elsewhere.
Scherzer's got a long-term deal. Strasburg signed a long-term contract. And Strasburg, I recall, talked about that loyalty as they stuck with him through Tommy John surgery.
Contracts these guys are signing, they will chip away at the national debt.
Nationals debt or well played, sir. Swing and a miss. Pena strikes out Harper with the bases loaded, but they add 2 to their lead, and it's 6-1 Nats after 5.
from Eyewitness News. Search AccuWeather in the App Store and download to get Chicago's most accurate forecast from ABC7, your AccuWeather station.
Let's check out the Ford upcoming schedule for the Cubs.
Do that? That's a great idea.
2 more here, and then off to the Queen City of Cincinnati for the weekend. By the way, the Fargo Moorhead Club, they're in the American Association now. With St. Paul, Lincoln, the Lincoln Salt Dogs, we've talked about them. Sioux City, Sioux Falls. So they left the Northern League back in 05.
The guy got his dauber down. His team is getting beat. All right. Hang in there. If last night would have been an awful game to lose, this would be a tremendous game to win. To come from 5 down against Scherzer, the way this game has played out so far. Chances of that happening, pretty slim, but possible.
One to Rizzo on a windy night. Over near the home dugout, it is Zimmerman, and he makes the catch up against the railing.
Scherzer and Zimmerman in hot pursuit of this one.
Scherzer is a little Travis Woodish. He wants to catch everyone.
Yeah, make sure, and then once he realized Zimmerman was on his way, he peeled off.
Brings up La Stella. Hey, do you have that Patrick Killebrew obituary?
I don't. Well, I bet you we can find it though.
I think Tracy, she might still have it. Recently, Pat Killebrew, age 68, passed away June 20th. After, quote, watching the Washington Nationals relief pitchers blow yet another lead. That's how the obituary started. Written by
his son, right?
Pat's family. Yeah, they placed the obit in the Richmond Times-Dispatch.
Beloved father and husband, longtime attorney, former U.S. Navy navigator, and avid baseball fan and player. Goes on to give the details of the.
In lieu of flowers, send donations to the Nationals Bullpen Fund.
That's well played. Well played, Killebrew family.
Scherzer feeling it now with this big lead. And with 2 outs, it's Ian Happ. And Killebrew's son, by the way, you think it's kind of a morbid thing to do, said his dad would have loved it.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of humor going in that family that, you know, that dad would have appreciated, no doubt.
Two strikes on Happ. 6-1 Nationals, 6th inning.
Alex Cobb lost his no-hitter. Shutout is intact. 2-0 Rays over the Pirates. They're in the 8th.
Called strike 3. Cubs go in order for the 4th time tonight. All Nationals so far.
Hall of Fame inductees Green Day will make their performance debut at Wrigley Field Thursday, August 24th. The band stop at the friendly confines as part of their Revolution Radio Summer Tour. Tickets are available now at Cubs.com/Green Day.
Zimmerman cuts and misses. Without a hit in the series, 0 for 7 with a walk tonight. Well, sorry to see Anthony Young has lost his battle with brain cancer. Anthony, a Chicago Cub in 1994 and 95. Houston native, went to the University of Houston. Battled the odds. He was a 38th round pick of the Mets that spent 6 years in the major leagues. Was known as just a wonderful guy. I guess he attended Mets fantasy camp this year, knowing that he had the inoperable brain tumor. And if the name rings a bell in the baseball sense, he dropped 27 consecutive decisions with the Mets between 1992 and 93. But he converted 12 consecutive saves, and 13 of the 27 consecutive starts without a win were quality starts. So some bad luck was involved. One strike on Murphy. Outside.
Yeah, keep flying open that front shoulder, really flipping towards the first base side, and that's why that ball is running up and away on him. Overcorrection.
Murphy lofts to deep center. It's Happ for out number 2. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Scherzer with a 6-1 lead. You think he's done?
It looks done to me. He's kind of standing up there having a casual conversation. That's not normally what you see with a pitcher that's still in the game. And there is action in the bullpen. And he has thrown a lot of pitches his last couple of outings.
Bryant drifting in. And he gloves it for the 3rd out. 7th inning around the corner. Cubs trail by 5. Baseball on ABC7 is being brought to you by Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing. By Lakeside Bank, we make banking simple. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. And by Dodge, test drive a Dodge Challenger or Charger at the Dodge Drive and Discover sales event going on now. And this father's son moment is brought to you by Sport Clips Haircuts with over 90 Chicagoland locations. Find yours at sportclips.com. Dusty Baker goes into his bullpen. And this pitching change is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. Eddie Romero. Not Eddie Romero, former infielder, right?
Yeah. Red Sox, maybe? Brewers?
Yep.
Any 2-3 with a 3.28 earned run average. Anyhow. Anywho. 2/3 of an inning in the ball game last night.
Facing
you can light it up.
Chris Bryant, who tripled in a run in the first to give the Cubs a very short-lived lead.
Scherzer solid here tonight, but not as overpowering as we've seen him. He struck out 6 in 6 innings.
High fly ball out into center field. Taylor will grab it. John Lackey will oppose Steven Strasburg tomorrow night. And then late afternoon on Thursday to wrap up the series, John Lester against Joe Ross.
Scherzer sees his streak of double-digit strikeout games end at 6.
6 strikeouts, no walks, only 2 hits allowed. 1 hit batter for Scherzer. And tomorrow's mound opponent, Steven Strasburg. Wilson Contreras last night became the first Cub catcher ever since 1876 when the franchise started, and they were the White Stockings, to lead off a game with a home run. He bats for Montero. Previous big league catcher to do it was John Jaso, 2010 for the Rays. Team managed by Joe Madden. The 9th catcher all time to do it, and the first Cub catcher to bat leadoff since Michael Barrett did it for Dusty Baker in 2004. That's all I got for you on that particular home run, and it's historical.
It's good facts. It's good knowledge you're throwing around right there.
Yep. Ball 4. I don't have the list of all the guys who've done it. Led off a game with a home run as a catcher, but I would imagine Jason Kendall might be on that list.
Yeah.
Who are some other guys who
lead off a bunch in his career,
would
right?
have been leadoff candidates from the catching position?
I wonder if Pudge did it a little bit. Pudge
Could be.
Rodriguez may have done it. Some of those high-powered Ranger teams, they had plenty of sock in the middle of the order.
Now I got to find the list.
Craig Biggio?
Yeah. Ed Hardig, if you're watching, shoot me an email. I'm sure he has the list. 1-2 on John Jay. Hector Rondon up in the Cubs bullpen.
Okay, I'm going to give you a baseball riddle, the likes of which you've never heard before.
Okay.
And I'm making this up as we go along, so I might have to polish it up a little bit here. But I'm going to give you clues that will direct you to 4 legitimate major leaguers, and then you will have to tell me the name of the book/movie that they represent.
Okay. They get a double play.
And we'll do that next inning.
I need time to ponder what in the world you're talking about. But I'm up for it. A 4-6-3 inning ender. Stretch time in D.C. 6-1 Washington. Chicago, ABC 7 Eyewitness News, weeknights at 10 with Chicago's team of Alan Krzyzewski, Kathy Brock, Cheryl Burton, Cheryl Scott, and Mark Giangreco. Wilson Contreras stays in to catch. 6-1 Nationals, bottom 7. Boy, you are stirring it up on Twitter. There is a huge debate going on about the merits of the 1962 NL MVP race.
People feel like Maury was deserving of.
I just think they're hashing it out.
Well, that's good. That's
Yep,
the beauty of baseball.
Baseball debate. What? 55 years later.
It's a beautiful thing.
See, they didn't have Twitter back in '62 to go over the merits of Aaron and Mays and Wills. So let's get back to your riddle.
So
here we
go. I'm going to give you a couple.
Are these 4 current players?
No,
sir. Just 4 players in the history of baseball. I'm supposed to come up with what?
A book title.
Okay.
This book was also turned into a movie. Clue number 1 is famous Cub player manager. Celebrated in verse. Clue 2 is current Washington National center fielder. Clue 3 is Jerry Coleman. Team number 4 is Mo Berg.
Are these 4 different things, or is it all one?
4 things.
Okay, so the first one is famous Cubs
A former
player,
Cub
manager.
Player and manager. Celebrated in verse.
Okay.
Current national center fielder who may or may not be batting right now.
Okay. All right.
Jerry Coleman. Mo Berg.
Okay. So we'll open it up on the Twitter. People want to try to guess. This is a riddle. And in each case, you're thinking of a book that became a movie?
These 4 individuals combined create a book, a movie.
Okay. All right.
And I guarantee I could have come up with a more clever way to present these clues that would make it more difficult.
Okay. Let me think about it.
He's playing with that one.
Yeah, it is, and it'll be Baez to make the catch. This is really hard to call a game while you figure out your riddle.
That's why we're on TV and not radio.
Wilmer Defoe will pinch hit. Okay. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out yet. Well, Tinker. Okay. I think I'm getting there. Oh, I think I got it. All right, I think I got it. All right, so we gave you the clue. The hint is Tinker. That starts it.
Make sure to think Midwest Equity Mortgage. Whether it's purchase or refi, Midwest Equity's Chicago-based team has you covered. Midwest Equity is a Crane's Fast 50 and Better Business Bureau A+ rated company. So apply today at MidwestEquity.com. Midwest Equity Mortgage. We bring it home.
This pitching change is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. It is right-hander Blake Trinan.
Trinan, like Romero, pitched in the ball game last night. He was times clocked at 100 miles per hour. Power sinker and slider. Got off to a rough start. They used him as a closer for a while. That didn't work out so well. Of late, he's been better overall, a 5.67 ERA through 32 appearances.
We've got smart fans. I'm getting dozens of tweets to answer your riddle. 4 major league players making up the name of a book/movie. Former Cubs player and manager, current National center fielder Jerry Coleman and Mo Berg, and the answer is Tinker, Taylor, Soldier, Spy.
You got it.
That's great.
Yeah. Joe Tinker and then Tinker Evers to Chance, the famous double play combination.
This might have to become a nightly bit. That was very impressive.
The first correct answer I got on my Twitter feed was Scotty No Fun. Congratulations to Scotty. I've had a number come in behind him.
Yeah.
Who will get the home version of our game. Justin Vestal, Mike Lowe, Corey Seacrest. Oh, man, they just keep rolling in. Way to go, everybody.
Bounced foul. All right. Well, we did one last night after the game. Vince Lodel, our associate producer. I'll throw it out again on Twitter. There are 4 players in the history of baseball who've hit a home run in the World Series in 3 different decades. Can you name the 4? Swing and a miss. Baez is out. It'll bring up Addison Russell, still bothered by a sore shoulder, but he can hit, and here he comes. I got the 2 Vince said were the 2 toughest.
Yeah, well, that's Vince's opinion. It's the one I got. He said, "Well, that's the easy one."
That's
Everybody would have got that
easy one. 4 players have homered in the World Series in 3 different decades. So we'll throw that out and we'll answer it in the bottom of the inning.
This is a good exercise for my tired old brain, just trying to remember the question that we dealt with last night.
Yeah. I will give you one hint. Three are Hall of Famers. Correct?
That's the 3 I've got written down right now.
3 of the 4.
Number 4 is escaping me right now.
I thought the 4th one was the easiest one.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Well, at Len Casper, at Jim DeShays, if you want to tweet at us. No looking. Stay off Baseball Reference. Line shot. Harper's got it. 2 outs.
So Cubs have hit into some tough luck here tonight. I mean, they didn't do a lot against Scherzer, but Montero, Jay, back-to-back lineouts in the 4th. Great swing there by Addison.
Thomas chimes in. Trick question. The answer is Tinker, Taylor, Soldier, Spy. No. No, that was the answer to the first question.
Yeah, Mo Berg, the spy. It's a book worth reading. The Catcher Was a Spy. Mo Berg, a very interesting guy. Played in the big leagues for a number of years. Very smart. Princeton, I believe. Maybe Columbia. Spoke multiple languages. Well read. And he was hired by the, I believe it was called the Office of Strategic Services. And went first to Yugoslavia, then to Italy during World War II. To gather intel. Probably learn about him if you went to the Spy Museum here in Washington, D.C. Two
2-0 to Candelario. Foul tip. 2-1. Got some good guesses here. Dave Winfield, nope. Babe Ruth, nope. Ricky Henderson, no. Ted Williams, again, good guess. I've had a couple people chime in the correct answer. They got all 4 right.
Ooh, that's nasty. Yeah, I got somebody on Twitter correcting me saying Tinker Taylor. It's Taylor, Tailor, but that wasn't the point of the question. Nitpick, Twitter. And I also got somebody correcting me, and then this is correct. I said Evers. It's Evers, Johnny Evers.
Right.
And I don't think I said Joe Tinker was a first baseman. I thought I said he was a shortstop and then a manager. But
that works for me.
Yeah.
Spelling is not required.
Oh, that's the
spelling correctly at least.
I couldn't think of any Taylors that played baseball spelled Tailor.
Right. Time now for the Hyundai Player of the Game. National starter Max Scherzer, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, and he struck out 6. 2 hits as well.
Yeah, he got as many as he gave up.
And this pitching change is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. Lakeside Bank, it's about time. It is Hector Rondon, who came in last night to start the 9th inning. Gave up a double to Murphy. Rendon lined out in a nice sliding play by Jay. Wieters and singled in Murphy, and Joe then brought in Wade Davis. Trey Turner takes a fastball in tight.
Yeah, it's been a bumpy ride for Hector so far this year. He gets on a little bit of a roll and then he'll backslide a little bit. This has not been consistent.
Base hit, right field. Turner reaches again. And this great stat of the game was brought to you by Mattress Firm, where we want you to sleep happy, guaranteed. Remember, if it's over 8, it's time to replace. We call it our Great 8 stat. Don't know what to make of it. Probably just that the Nationals are really good, and they are 31-12 under the lights. Goodwin takes a strike. So Jim yesterday was the first to get the correct answer to our trivia question, and if you had the following names, you're a winner. 4 players have hit a home run in the World Series in 3 different decades. Joe DiMaggio, Yogi Berra, Eddie Murray, and Matt Williams. So you can stump your friends.
Daniel Eberle on my Twitter feed was the winner. It's kind of fun. I feel like Alex Trebek here tonight. Felix Pena, 3 scoreless innings tonight. Allowed a couple hits, a walk, had a strikeout. So he did his job, kind of saving some of the other guys out there in the bullpen.
He did give up the 2-run double to Taylor, but those runs were charged to Arrieta. But that's as much about quantity as quality on a night like this. And 3 solid innings, as you said.
MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details.
Two. He struck him out.
Scherzer came into the start with a 2.09 ERA, best in Major League Baseball. It goes down just a fraction, 2.06. The highest single season ERA he's had over his last 4 years is 3.15. So he's been remarkably consistent.
One strike to Harper. Let's take a look at the run expectancy. Oh, check that. There we go. Run expectancy brought to you by Toyota. Runner at first, 1 out. Nationals above Major League average. Thanks to Toyota for our run expectancy chart.
Vicious swing by Harper.
1-2 on him. Yeah. Baez, La Stella, return it. And we will go to the 9th inning. Washington 6, Cubs 1, and that guy just reached level 6. The Mazda CX 9th inning is brought to you by the 2017 Mazda CX-9. Mazda, driving matters. 4 days here in the nation's capital. Mercedes-Benz drive of the game. This was the Taylor double that really broke it open, made it 6-1 in the 5th inning. A Mercedes-Benz drive. Here's Oliver Perez, left-hander, 9th inning, 6-1 Nationals.
Perez, 35 years of age, has been around a long time. Broke into the big leagues with the Padres back in 2002. And it's been quite a journey for him. Pittsburgh, New York, Seattle, Arizona, Houston, and Washington. Stops along the way for the veteran lefty.
Oh, 0-1 to Rizzo, back in the leadoff spot tonight. And we got hit by a pitch in that first plate appearance. Later scored on the Bryant triple. But that's been it. Cubs have been limited to 2 hits.
Be a little disconcerting to stand in there against Perez when he's getting ready to throw the ball and looking towards center field.
4 times already this season, the Cubs have been limited to just 2 hits. They won one of those games April 25th, 1-0 at Pittsburgh. They trail big tonight. 2-2. I'm sure Oliver has exactly the idea of when he's going to throw the ball, but I don't.
Yeah.
And I think he's trying to make the hitter think the same thing. Like, how long can he stand on 1 foot? This time does not turn away from the hitter.
Yeah, and it's you know, kind of like when we talk about Strop and his quick pitching, and every now and then he'll turn away from the hitter. Sometimes he'll hold it a little bit longer, and especially for a guy like Perez, who's been in the league a long time and doesn't quite have the jump on his fastball he once did. If you can command the ball at all, doing all this, it's well worth it.
I love what he does with his glove.
Yeah, a lot of it is just style points, I think.
He gets off the mound, plenty of time, feathers that one over to Zimmerman for the first out. And tonight's hot and cold players are brought to you by Plumbers 911. Emergency plumbing service is 1 click away at plumbers911.com. Paul Goldschmidt here in June, batting over 400 with a 1200 OPS. Grandal just 213 for the Red Hot Dodgers, who did have their 10-game winning streak come to an end last night. And Albert Almora Jr. announced, and Dusty's going to play the matchups here. And Perez gets Rizzo. And we'll be back in the 9th inning. Nationals 6. Cubs 1. This call to the pen is brought to you by Lakeside Bank. It's about time.
Back time for the Feldco save of the game. And Zimmerman, the first baseman, good concentration, leaning into the Nats dugout to make the catch. It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year right now. Get $1 installation on windows, siding, and doors, plus no interest for 1 year. Call 866-4-FELDCO now.
And Cub fans, start your day the Chicago way with ABC 7 Eyewitness News in the morning. Weekdays with Terrell Brown, Tanya Babich, Roz Varon, and Tracy Butler.
Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
There you go. Matt Albers against the pinch hitter Albert Almora Jr.
Albers pitched in the ball game last night. Dusty Baker's got a 5-run lead, so certainly could have opted to leave Perez out there, who did not pitch in the ball game last night. Opted for the matchup. The question would be, would this potentially jeopardize Albers' availability for tomorrow night? Over the years, and he's been around a long time. One of those guys who could take the ball day after day, kind of a rubber-armed right-hander, 3-1 with a 1.93 ERA this year. The veteran, sinkers and sliders for the most part from Albers.
Almora in game 1 took 3 walks, knocked in a run with a squeeze bunt, and got a hit out of it. So 4 times up, 4 times on base. Getting over 300 this month. Albers working from the stretch with nobody on. They're in extra innings in Pittsburgh. The Rays just put up 2 in the 10th and lead 4-2. Cincinnati beat the first place Brewers 8-6. Almora running hard. Rendon will throw him out. Adelman over Guerra in that one. So the Cubs will be no more than 1 game back, no matter what happens here, and they're down to their final out. Here's Happ.
Fly to center and a couple of strikeouts for Ian tonight. Looking for a little salvage here at the end of a tough night. Get a knock, help you sleep a little bit better tonight, perhaps.
The 1-0 offering is a called strike. 1-1. Lackey and Strasburg tomorrow night. Fans on their feet here. 31,202 in the ballpark. Goodwin is on the move. He's got it, and the Nationals take game 2. Max Scherzer gets his 9th win of the year. Cubs held to 2 hits here tonight. And the final score from Nationals Park: Washington 6 and the Cubs 1.